They have chosen what will be their first weapons here on the field of battle. This is the finals for the GWENT Challenger.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have Brewerhoog versus Hansult. A very interesting matchup. This is the deck that has been making quite a name for itself today. Lifecoach's Hansult deck with Vest, Blue Stripes Commandos, and Poor Infantries. A lineup that seemed odd to a lot of people, but has been performing exceptionally well today.
Yeah, I love, every time we see the deck, I just remember, yeah, that's right, this deck is in this tournament. We get to see it again and again, and I don't believe the deck has lost. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I
don't think it has.
It's undefeated.
And Vest has come out in all of those games as well.
Yeah.
So, but once again, we're seeing Noxious with his control-heavy list against, and this is Lifecoach's list is probably more of, it's pushing for big score. It's a bit more of greed-based. You might say it might be a more greedy deck. So when greed clashes with control, you're always in for a great match.
It's important to note, though, that Noxious does not have the Meridian Bomb in his lineup. So Hansult, the Siege Towers, if he does not tackle them at the proper time, could very well mean the demise of Brewerhoog, because if you cannot control the power of Siege Towers, they just cannot really match that strength. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because Noxious has been very focused on dealing with the threats immediately every single time, and he needs to keep that mentality in this game, making sure he disrupts every single play Lifecoach makes, because this deck relies heavily on combining cards and setting up for that huge power.
And can we just draw attention to how Noxious was talking about that tunnel vision? You look at the body language of the two players. You can clearly see that Noxious has been taking this advice and how he gets to actually use this against Lifecoach. Fantastic.
It's like, I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to see anybody.
Siege Tower coming out first right away, trying to capitalize on getting as much power as possible out of that Siege Tower early on, or perhaps tempt the removal that we know Noxious is running with his control-heavy lists.
I mean, he does have double medic in his hand, so that could give away to his opponent the fact that he's, you could say he's careless with this, because the fact that he has two field medics in hand, it's actually a play that could lead. Yeah, oh man.
I mean, look at all the cards that remove strength in Noxious's hand. He's holding an Alzur's Thunder, 2 Archers, Bran, which is actually a great pick, and you could use this liberally. If 4 strength might be all you need to take care of a Siege Tower. On top of that, Yorveth and Saskia.
There's the Bloody Vodka, as he is going to bring out the Lubricant turn 2. Buffing up the Siege Tower by 2 points again, even though it is vulnerable to another Archer, but he has to select his priority here. Do you target the Lubricant or the Siege Tower? I think the Lubricant is the prime target because it cannot be resurrected once it goes down.
Yeah, I think the Alzur's Thunder or Yorveth can back you up if the Siege Tower unexpectedly takes a turn for the worse here, but, with all of these control options, like Noxious can just keep eliminating threats, and that's what he's been really good at. We saw in his matchup with Peronia how he's able to deal with those Savage Bears, and a lot of these snowbally cards control always have a really strong and favorable matchup in this case.
Noxious has been very good at saying no immediately to those threats that can get out of control later down the line, and that is what has made him make it this far in my eyes. He's been very sharp in that sense and has been using this control scoia'tael very efficiently. Lifecoach is definitely going to try to get the advantage with these Siege Towers, but it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky because Noxious is not going to allow him to set up for free. Picks up blue. Oh, okay, not the greatest pick there. So hey, now we're seeing the Vest strategy at not his greatest situation. Not getting Vest right off the bat and pulling a Blue Stripes Commando early on. So let's see how this deck can perform under a not so, desirable lead.
I mean, it's not the perfect situation to see your Blue Stripes Commando, but the good thing about Blue Stripes Commando is by itself, it's actually fair. I think Blue Stripes Commando is a card that hasn't changed very much, if at all, throughout the story of the game. And there was times where, some of the older lists would rely on Blue Stripes Commando to actually get a lot of strength and be a stable core unit. Vest just makes the card a little better, for sure, especially in this lineup. But this time, Vest not in the opening hand here.
Enough of this farce.
Hunting the tower, I assume. Or the blue. Ooh.
Interesting choice.
Interesting choice there by Noxious. I think he could have perhaps targeted the Siege Tower. But then again, it doesn't ultimately matter because we do see double field medic in the hand of Lifecoach. But the question is, do you go for the medic and resurrect that Blue Stripes Commando? Or do you preserve that for something different later down the line?
Now, I think that this is a fantastic mulligan by Lifecoach. He kept, he kept the medics. He wasn't afraid of keeping the medics in hand because he understands probably that Noxious has been running a removal game and a control game for this entire tournament. So it's more and more likely that there would be a siege tower to bring back in the first round. And even though the field medic brings back a random bronze unit, it's more likely to pick when the graveyard isn't nice and slow.
Oh, I like this timing for the promote. Yes, he goes for it. Promoting the siege tower, it can no longer be removed because you have to not take it down. Now Noxious has no way of dealing with that. It can get completely out of hand. This is huge because every single source of removal in his hand cannot hit gold units.
That is the one weakness here. I think it's possible that Noxious didn't anticipate that actually occurring until later, perhaps leaning on that Alzur's Thunder to be the solution for the siege tower, allowing himself to perhaps, take that opportunity to remove the Blue Stripes Commando and just stay ahead on points. But now the longer this round goes, it could be very devastating. We see Yennefer in hand. Yennefer alone is quite strong, and of course Henselt, as the cards increase and more opportunities happen here.
We see Noxious there debating what to do. It seems like he's going to drop Milva.
Gives him another removal option back here with the Archer.
Yeah, and he gets more value out of it and returns Roach to the hand of Lifecoach. So I think Lifecoach as of now can just drop Roach again because he does get in the lead. And he can actually drop it in the melee row to basically empower his Henselt and the tower later down the line as he can aim for that row with, because he does have medic, poor infantry, and blue stripes in the graveyard, so he can really stack on that row. But he has to go with the poor infantry instead, preserving that Roach for later perhaps.
The thing about poor infantry and Henselt, I mean, like running field medics and running siege tower is obviously very, very strong, but Lifecoach opting to use Blue Stripes Commando and stuff like poor infantry instead of trebuchets. Poor infantries can actually clog up the graveyard, so if you're hunting for a siege tower with your medics, all three of those poor infantry go into the graveyard and individually can be pulled out from medics. So your siege towers, the promote now, when you think about it that way, promoting, I don't think that was early at all.
Oh, without a doubt, it was a very key promotion there. I think it was super key.
You got to get as much value out of your siege towers as well if you can't count on them coming back a second time or a third time or a fourth time.
They can hide, but there is
Lifecoach really banking on the fact that his opponent is not running the Maritime Bomb to shut that down, as we see the opponent rally into a Archer after the Elven Mercenary. Noxious getting a nice swing there, but still not quite enough to get in the lead. We're going to see Field Medic being developed here. That was a 50% chance. He obviously wanted to get the poor infantry, because knocking that out, actually, like, poor infantry has very good synergy with the Field Medic, even though it does disrupt potentially the resurrection of the towers. If you remove one of the infantries, like, you can gain, another 9 strength with the Field Medic, which translates into a 13 strength bronze play.
Yeah, Noxious doing what he can to control the row here. Henselt, it's all very apparent. Henselt is yet to be activated, and there's a siege tower that has already been promoted to gold status, so it's only a matter of time before Henselt's able to skyrocket the strength of that nigh invincible unit to out of reach for the round. So Noxious has been trying to remove as much as he can. He doesn't want to get full value just want to see full value from Henselt. But at what point might you pull the trigger if you actually wanted to Henselt here to win the round? Are you satisfied with 4 units?
No, I think Lifecoach likes going big with it. He likes going for the 7 value max of Henselt, because Henselt does have a cap.
Now let them dangle.
Brain to eliminate. I mean, Noxious, like I said, Noxious does not lose or waste any sort of time removing the components of the combo, and that's what you have to do against Henselt. You have to be quick, snipe down their threats, and make sure that you take as much strength as you can out of Henselt. But we're going to see another Field Medic being summoned here. Very key by Lifecoach, as you said, with his mulligan, preserving all this resurrection. Definitely working out really well for him here as he resurrects yet again another poor infantry. And there we see it, man. 7 targets.
Yeah.
7 units. There it is.
Now, it's been difficult. Noxious probably struggling a little bit. We saw Brand being played at 4. Generally, one of the better targets to buff with your Vriad Dragoons in hand, but no Vriad Dragoons to be found in his hand. You could only really count on perhaps rallying one out with an Elven Mercenary pulling a first light, but that's a lot of stuff to lean on. So taking as much advantage out of it, but it proved to be for naught as Lifecoach was still able to secure 7 units here. And it's going to come down to, it will be very hard to beat the siege tower, I think, in this instance here. Noxious is going to have to make some pretty sound judgment on when to play and when to pass. Decent board for Saskia, though.
Saskia, but that doesn't stop the ridiculous Hanzo value here. We know exactly what Lifecoach is going in for now. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be worth more than just 10 strength. Oh, this is going to be crazy.
I mean, it's not
He
a
has to
sure
go for
thing,
it now.
but
He has to go for it
it's
now.
the best time to do it.
Yeah, it's the best time, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Look at this. Lifecoach is standing at 66. What a swing. Takes an 18-point lead over Noxious. And he is holding on to the Yennefer there. As Noxious drops a Yavin, I think this is Lifecoach's cue. There's the pass right there.
Yep, Yavin definitely signaling that he has had enough of the gold siege tower. It wasn't so far, but it was far enough for sure, especially when we can look at the hand here. That's a lot of special cards.
Yeah, and that buffed up Blue Stripes Commando. Got buffed up twice by the summoning of the first one and then the resurrection there. It's a 9 strength unit now. And we'll buff up the other Blue Stripes Commando in the deck up to 11. So kind of some chain buffing going on here. We're seeing Blue Stripes Commando being applied without the synergy of Beth. And it's pretty interesting because it's been a while since this card has seen play. And here it is at the finals of the Challenger.
Here it is. Noxious still unable to find a Vrea Dragoon for his hand. The rallies are going to have to be played to start digging. But of course, he still has to take this round as well.
I think Lifecoach has to make use of the second round to drop Roach onto the board. Like, you have to do it eventually. Why not in the round that you plan on losing anyways? Even though he does want that huge swing and strength, but you can't keep Roach in your hand, really.
He might pass for the card, but he'd also go into this round. Getting your cards back against Scoia'tael can make the difference sometimes.
Lifecoach
There.
opted to develop
You
the
called
Roach
it.
there.
There's a Roach potentially. There he is.
Yeah, it is.
Officially. So it's kind of a tough decision here. You want the Dragoon. Oh, it's going to opt for Brewer.
Going for the Brewer Hook. Ah, there it is. Sipping Willie. Oh, he's going to go for the King of Beggars, actually.
Could delete Roach, but I think, yeah, you might be able to get a little bit more.
I think Sipping Willie's too good here. You got to go for it. Yep.
Poor Roach. We've been seeing it all day long. We've been seeing it all day long.
It's not meant to be. It's not her event. Next challenger, she'll shine. Ah, nice. The neat there by Lifecoach. Getting Siri!
Nice
That's
draw.
huge.
This allows Lifecoach is in a dominating position with that draw.
That's huge.
Huge draw.
That's such a good draw. By the way, premium Siri, outstanding. I love
My
her.
faves. One of my favorites. They're all so good.
I've had enough.
So good. Yield and save me some time, she says.
There goes the second rally. Noxious trying to fit into his deck. Gets another Dragoon there, investing to the next round. So he's actually playing, like he's also investing the next round himself. So, solid plays there by Noxious. This is a key time to use said Dragoons.
And it's good that he's finally seeing him here so he can get, that's a really powerful card. Dragoons allows a lot of swing in the end game of the third round. And, he definitely needed that. He only had 2 units left to buff, and the Vrea Dragoons coming out late without any potential targets is not what you want. But we did get a chance to see this. Lifecoach is sticking around here.
He's still
trying to see
pressuring
probably as many cards as he possibly
The
can from
storm is
Noxious.
coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we
Manticore
still
Venom
can.
only getting 4 value there, but he has enough lead that he doesn't really have to worry about, staying behind his strength at this point, I believe. But that Yavin is disrupting the Scorch of Noxious.
Yeah, that really makes Scorch hard to play here. Playing Spies against Scoia'tael is probably one of the better strategies. In a landscape dominated by Scoia'tael, you can really kind of lock out the Scorch by giving your opponent that strong unit.
I think Lifecoach you could make an argument here for going for Promote, even though that could mess up your combo later down the line, but I like that play quite a bit.
He's going for it anyway.
Yep, he's going for it. He wants more cards out of Noxious here. Going heavy into, he has a Shani. The less cards his opponent has, the more powerful Shani will be.
Shani is one of the best cards to play at the end of the game as a last card, as she can make so much happen, and we've seen a lot of filthy combos come out of Northern Realms, medic chains, and all sorts of stuff, and Shani can make a lot of it happen, being able to resurrect and promote silver cards and bronze cards alike. And of course, generating extra gold cards, Henselt does not mind.
The clock is ticking right there for Noxious. Really debating what to use. I guess he's going to Althor's Thunder his own Yavin.
He has to stay in the round. He's forced to play these cards, and that 13 strength archer, you know, it could be his final hope here.
A negative
He could have
7 strength
afforded to play the Scorch, though. He could have afforded to actually Scorch the Aven, but it's tough when you got to win the round. It's tough.
Yennefer's actually huge here. Because she just goes
Yennefer's
to your honest. Oh, man. It's tremendous.
very aggressive.
13 strength lead. That forces the Archer out of him. And the Archer's not even enough. He made 2-0 him.
It's true because he actually can't Scorch, and the Archer has nothing to hit.
There's no escape.
Shot is
Oh,
going
he's
to be
just
enough.
2-0'd him. He just 2-0'd him.
Not necessarily, though. Not necessarily.
No, he just passes the here.
Well, we know.
Oh, yeah.
We know.
We know. Wait for it. He's got him.
He had to.
He's got him. He can't play
True.
Scorch.
It's
It's
true.
over. It's over.
Bricked.
It's over.
It's a bricked card.
Yep.
It's a tough play. It's tough. Scorch is a tough one sometimes.
Scoia'tael being
That
Scorch
Nanica
there.
Yavin. That Nanica Yavin was fantastic.
That Yennefer taking it to him. Outstanding performance by Lifecoach, going 1-0 against Noxious and getting that Hanzo win, which, hey, with or without Vess, went undefeated today.
No problem, right?
My lord, what a deck. I love it.
Fantastic deck, and you know, again, it's you know, it's not uncommon to see Henselt on the ladder, and also not uncommon to see Siege Towers play a huge part. But you know, it's almost like combining Poor Infantry and choosing that instead of Trebuchet. Just a very unique combination. It's been working out great for Lifecoach as we jump into this next matchup here. Lifecoach with his Croc on Crate versus Noxious giving it another swing at it here with Scoia'tael.
Noxious really believing that its Scoia'tael control is his strongest deck to bring to this matchup, or to any single matchup. He believes it's his strongest deck, period. He's been very confident with it, and he really digs the control strategy. Definitely a control player above anything else. While Lifecoach is bringing a very proactive list here, but with a lot of control mechanisms. Again, we've been talking a lot about even these proactive decks having options to, you know, be able to manage what your opponent is doing, and that's very important here. As this is looking like an interesting hand with the Gremist and the Archer, Holger Blackhand, the Coral, and double. Not one, but 2 War Cries.
How do you like that Holger Blackhand in the deck here? Not a very common card to see. You know, a lot of people can make the argument that Murktebrak is a very strong silver to run, perhaps, that serves the same purpose. And Holger Blackhand is, you know, it's a starter card for Skellige. So a lot of people filter that out of their deck.
I mean, just look at it this way. Just look at it this way. Holger Blackhand is 12 strength. Murktebrak is 9 in total of a swing. So, like, technically, Holger Blackhand just gives you more. The thing is, Murktebrak is a little bit more flexible because of his ability to ping something by 1. And some people really like that. But I personally believe that Holger Blackhand, like, if in my Croc and Crate list, I run Holger Blackhand because it just has more output damage. And in round 3, it's 14 strength.
It's true, and that weather immunity is
And
also
weather immune
sometimes
too, yeah.
can be very important in some of the matchups.
Oh, definitely. Especially like in games against Skellige, for example, with Coral too, like in the mirror. It's very key. I think it's a very clever tech by Lifecoach, and it just goes to show he's been investing time and really tweaking up his decks for this event. And hey, hard work pays off.
Practice
I
makes
am
perfect.
who I
Yep.
need to be.
Yorvith denying the Raging Berserker. This is very important. Being able to knock out the Raging Berserker right off the bat denies potentially a Raging Bear resurrection in round 3, which is huge.
And we know Lifecoach loves to buff that Raging Bear with the Shieldsmith, so denying that,
Yes.
I don't know, would you consider bringing it back right now with the Priestess? At least the Priestess is something that can be played in this round.
But at the
it's
same
double Warcry also. The hand, I think that Noxious
you gotta
might
go for it.
actually have a more
We serve
favorable
her
hand.
who is virgin.
Especially because he has an Athos Thunder in his hand as well. He can handle this again.
That's exactly what happened, and that may actually be the response here. But you know, as we've been talking about, I mean, look at all the options here. The Alzu's Thunder, the Lock as well.
Indeed, he has so
Archer
many
is not
tools.
so much in this case, but yeah, definitely.
Noxious has to keep playing the way he's been playing this tournament. Answer the threat immediately. Not give Lifecoach a chance. And there he goes with it. The Athos Thunder onto the Raging Berserker. Very well done by Noxious, denying that. He's very aggressive and very direct with his Scoia'tael control deck, but I think that's how you gotta be to shut down these sort of strategies.
And it's great because if he perhaps anticipates that another Priestess of Freya is going to come back out and perceive, you know, that all of that is a threat, he's still back up there. Diamond Shackles would be able to do it. If Lifecoach really, really wanted to do it, Sigurd Rifa can bring it back, but that's a tough card to spend. Usually that's more of a later card, allowing just a ton of strength to come out of Skellige as she's able to resurrect silver cards like King of Beggars, which pull the Priestesses. But with no bear to complete that combo, it's not quite as potent.
Exactly. This is definitely a tough turn for Lifecoach. He has been shut down. This is the same thing that Noxious did over and over again to the Croc and Crate list from Pro Neo. He shut it down by immediately answering the threats. And Lifecoach is in trouble right now. He's really debating what to do. He's gonna see.
Oh, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it. Oh man.
What a commitment.
Noxious knows how to tackle these decks. He knows how to shut them down. He understands how they work, and I think this may be a tough deck for Lifecoach to get a win with against Noxious because he's been so good against it.
Well, you can make the decision here that Noxious has to make a good call here with the lock on the Raging Berserker. You wouldn't necessarily want to always use it. Oh, he's
relentless.
Lifecoach is showing how important that Raging Berserker is to him by spending Sigurd Reaper in round 1. Noxious is answers like, you think that's important? I'll take care of that over and over again. Let's see if you can. The best part about the lock is can't resurrect something that isn't in the graveyard. Now, lock would have denied all of this to begin with if you had planned on.
But he took out all the resurrection out of him. He took the grief out of him round 1. That's huge.
Getting those cards out of his hand is pretty massive. Pretty massive. Lots of still avenues of victory for both players here, but it's all been revolving around this Raging Berserker and that Bear.
Billion barrels of burn.
Ops buffed up. Interesting. I guess he doesn't have a clear play here. Lifecoach's game plan has been disrupted heavily.
The storm is coming.
Now Lifecoach is running 3 of those Raging Berserkers, so we may still yet see a Bear in the graveyard, but without Sigurd Reaper and limiting that resurrection opportunity, it just brings down the consistency of that, some of these explosive turns Skeleton can make happen with the self-wounding archetype.
Indeed. He still does have the Crown and Crate ability with Warcry potentially, but without that Raging Bear to protect said Clown and Clay Warriors from Scorch, Lifecoach is in trouble right now. Massive trouble, actually.
And once again, look at that body language from both players.
They're like brothers.
Like a homecoming, like a nice reunion of old friends here. This is it's great to see how these players are applying their strategies to this game, which we all know and love.
I like the focus. I like the determination. Noxious may be very humble, but he wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants it really bad. Don't doubt that.
Every decision could be the $60,000 question. So great to be watching this journey for all of these players and to see, to get here to the finals. It's been a long one, but a good one, man.
It's been incredible. Like this event, oh man, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well,
for Skellige's glory!
Those war cries, definitely want to get value out of those war cries. Holding on to 2. Probably want to get as much as you can out of, get one, you can play them a little bit more liberally in that case.
I think after this, Lifecoach is going to plan on using the Archer to ping one of his Crown and Crate Warriors to actually make it so that both of them are not vulnerable to Scorch after the war cry.
Yeah, Grem is currently protecting, but that wouldn't be the case afterwards.
Exactly. Lifecoach with a 10 strength lead, though.
But there is no escape.
Opting to take that out there.
Holga Blackhand, no, Grimace is 4 base strength. Like, no matter how much damage he deals with, he can't bring it below, like, base strength and, capitalize on it with work right there. But there's the Archer. I think we're going to see just that.
Going to stagger that strength.
Going to hit one of the Clown and Clay Warriors and probably 2 units from his opponent, because it doesn't make sense for him to attack her. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Lifecoach has a lot of power right now. Coral represents a lot, too, on the ranged row.
Yep.
Not to mention those war cry.
There he is. Now it's an 8 and a 7, so Scorch will only kill the strongest one of them. And here goes the Elven Mercenary getting another Archer in there.
And the game is still...
Oh man, disrupting that.
And the score is nice and close, so passing doesn't really ever seem like an option. Both players are looking for commitment here, but I think Lifecoach has a lot of swing in these remaining cards here.
Because they are...
Sasuke is no slouch, though, either.
Yeah, because they're already damaged, every ounce of extra damage that he gets on these units is actually worth a lot more.
×2.
But he does target the Grimace instead, trying... Not sure what he's trying to do here.
Maybe he's not scared of the Warcry. Maybe he wants to see it.
Here we go. It's time. You got 2 in hand. You got to go for it now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I know it's like he has the things about he has to take his time. There's no reason for him to rush it. But this is a very clear play here. Here we go. The war cry, ladies and gentlemen, buffing him up to 61, taking a 19 strength lead over Noxious. Noxious with a Saskia in hand, though, which is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, a 21 strength Saskia. Enough to bring him back into this. There it is. The big dragon, the nuke, ladies and gentlemen, Boomba.
Keeping this game nice and close, but I think Coral might end up being, I mean, I think Noxious would be fine. Happy to see Coral played early on here. But I think that might actually be the decider here.
It
Tough
may
to beat
very
Coral,
well be.
yeah.
Yep. Especially, I mean, he does have one more Elmer Mercenary. How many
Could get that weather clear.
Yeah, he could get it. Could easily get it.
Noxious is running a fair amount of special cards, though it's not a guarantee that he would get it. There are, I mean, we've seen a lot of special cards so far, but, you know, there's always that Scorch
Yeah,
as well.
it's not a guarantee.
Wouldn't be a problem, though. Scorch would take out 15 strength from Lifecoach.
Lifecoach really debating here.
With that Merc in hand, I think anything is possible right now. It's really, you can't really for sure say one way or another. It's really just going to be dependent on how deep this round goes. And there's Coral.
There's Coral.
That may be amusing.
Getting Roach in the melee row and hitting him for a bunch of damage. Dropping him down to 39. That is a total of 23 strength over Noxious.
Coral did so
Everything
much there.
But he's going for it, and he gets it!
He gets it.
He gets it.
That was not assured.
But he's still not up there. Will Lifecoach pass here?
This is a close one right here.
I think he drops Holger Blackhand really. Like, Holger Blackhand is a 12 strength play, but then he's becoming vulnerable because his last card is pretty dead. He may go for the War Cry here, which is worth 5 strength, and preserve that Holger for the... But then if he does that, he loses that potential combo for later down the line. But then again, like, how much value can he get out of that at this point, you know? With, like, so many little options. This combo requires some setup. He does go for it. He does go for the Holger Blackhand. This is a 12 strength swing in the favor of Lifecoach.
That clear weather made all the difference right there.
It did, truly did. 14 strength swing, or lead in
Noxious
favor of, like...
Or sorry, or
Well, has he played Scorch yet?
I was looking at 2 screens at the same time. Serves me right.
Yeah, I don't think he's played Scorch yet. He's gonna fish it off with Boover Hook here, and if that's the case, that will be enough to get him in the lead.
We've given enough.
There it is. There's the Scorch. There's the Scorch.
That's the choice right there.
50 strength, just enough to get him ahead by 1 point.
Just enough.
Lifecoach is going all in, though. This is only worth 5 strength, though. Will that be enough?
Arch is going to take it.
Yeah, Arch
all
is
the
gonna
way
take
down
it.
to the last card, round 1, fought tooth and nail.
But there is no escape.
Such a close one.
Such an intense one.
That score was bouncing around. It was so, like, the
Wow.
gaps just opened and closed
So close.
so quickly. So many swing cards being played.
Here we go, boys.
Is that the
round
first
2.
round 1 that we've seen every card in hand being played? I think that might be.
Yep.
Still getting unique, still getting some unique
This is
stuff
huge.
out of this tournament.
This is huge because now Noxious makes him go first because, of course, he's a gentleman.
That's what Scoia'tael does.
And this is going to be very... Like, he can just open pass here. Yep.
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 No
2 cards
problem.
versus 3.
When it gets this close in cards, 1 card makes all the difference.
These top decks are everything. They mean everything right now. Absolutely everything. Let's see what they pick up. Lifecoach is going to draw into a King of Beggars.
King of Beggars very strong.
And Milva. King of Beggars is huge, though. Immediately opening up the graveyard and see what he can have, because by looking at his graveyard, he can make, like, he can count the Priest of Freya. Oh, this is...
King of Beggars into Priestess of Freya.
Yep.
For sure.
Oh, baby.
But there's no bear. The bear was never there, but
he can...
still get so much out of that. Let's take a nice close look at this, all the options here.
I think the best strategy still is to resurrect the Raging Berserker and then hit it up with the Archer, honestly.
Yeah? Milva's, Milva can still do some stuff, though.
I mean, Raging Berserker makes it so that he can't, like, really target. Let's see what he does. This is a difficult talk here. A difficult call, sorry.
I just want to see what he chooses.
The Raging
You have
Berserker.
a couple of art. Yeah, it's going to be the Raging Berserker, which he buffed.
But here's when Noxious' relentlessness in the first round comes into play, not allowing it to transform for this round. It's so big.
Milva can bounce it back, but at quite a cost, of course. Possibly too much of a cost.
Gonna drop Brain to hit the King of Beggars here.
Very tight
And that
game.
gives him a target with the Archer, but the Archer's also gonna hit one of his units as well.
Keep together.
The paths of victory are narrowing at this point. Now the bear, because the bear was never in the graveyard and never triggered, it's coming out at 11. Didn't get
There
buffed
we
by
go.
Shieldsmith. That buff doesn't carry over. No Skellige passive, buffed it up to 13. But the Manticore Venom is just
Don't
not
you
going to
fret
be
about
enough.
me.
Milva's going to return Brains with the hand though and pull out Roach. Will this be enough?
So
Will that
tight
be
right
enough? That's... He's got a tense... It is enough!
There. Now let
It is
them
enough!
dangle.
With Manticore Venom, it's enough! He's going to take it! Noxious is going to take the
So
second game!
close.
That Milva did it for him! That is the
Fantastic.
second game. Outstanding.
I expected nothing less.
Fantastic.
What a
Noxious
game.
brings it back.
Crowd's getting into it now.
Worthy of a finals, folks.
A maximum of 3 games remain at this point.
Yep.
And we're jumping right in here, I think.
Noxious getting that win with Control Scoia'tael as Lifecoach got the win with his Hanzo list. The 2 decks that they've been adamantly starting with every single round. So now it's going to come to less preferred options.
We can see the bans there as well. We see Lifecoach can't play Scoia'tael, which he, you know, if you didn't know, he actually titled his deck OP, the Scoia'tael deck, and he's not allowed to play it Noxious
Poor
banned
guy.
out of monsters, which is, you know, has a lot of strength in its own right. But Noxious using Scoia'tael, using that control gameplay to seal the deal there.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, round 3, 1-1. Noxious brings Croc on Crate. And we got a mirror, folks.
One more mirror.
We have the mirror. No Peter Dagger for this one, though. So we'll see how it turns out. Because with Peter Dagger, he always wins them. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, not exciting.
This mirror ultimately being the most important as it is, it could end up being a $60,000 mirror to win. And it's tough. Both of these decks, very similar, but there's some key differences. We can see Ockfist in the mulligan there. Also, the Wild Boar of the Sea, which is actually present in both decks. I should
Also-
note, but
also-
Ockfist specifically unique to Lifecoach.
The big difference in this deck is that Lifecoach has quite a bit more resources to gain card advantage over Noxious with the presence of Siri and Ockfist, and that could be very key.
And we talked a little bit about some of the choices that Lifecoach played while he does play Croc on Crate that spawns 2 on Crate Warriors, also running 2 on Crate Warriors in the deck as well. So just opening up a lot more opportunities for Warcry to be a huge swing.
We see Savage Bear be developed turn 1 by Noxious. We have he has an immediate answer with Wild World of the Sea, but it would lose a little bit of value potential. So I think and at the same time, like, you don't mind taking damage yourself. You can just Raging Berserker this.
It's true. I mean, Savage Bear in this
It's
matchup
going to
is
be an
very
awkward game.
interesting.
It's going to be an awkward game, actually, because both of them benefit from the same strategy of self-wounding. So Savage Bear may actually help Lifecoach out quite a bit here.
Lifecoach not running a Savage Bear of his own, as we've seen in this list.
Develops the Ockfist. Turn 1. Does Noxious have an answer for this? As of right now, he does not, actually. That's huge. That's so huge. But that can also help build up Noxious's Warcry as well. But the Savage Bear is already doing that, though. So it's actually going to... That Oxys is going to be very important in this match. It's going to be so valuable here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the cards in Noxious's hand, you know, as we've seen constantly, the massive swings that are possible. But now we're watching 2 decks that have the same...
There's the Raging Berserker. There it is. And that second Savage Bear singing up for the Warcry as well. And Noxious just playing Ditto, baby.
Savage Bears definitely are an extra benefit to Lifecoach that he didn't actually have to put in his deck to allow for more wounding. It does limit some of the options, but really they're only the Resurrection options, which wouldn't be played anyway.
But definitely not even Sigdrifa can be played this round because of the 2 Savage Bears. So out of the 8 cards that Lifecoach has in hand, without including his leader's ability, he can only play 5.
It's interesting, Noxious is...
Well, he can't even play King of Beggars, actually. He's very limited.
Oh, well, he can play the King of Beggars.
Well, but
King of
he'll
Beggars,
pull,
whatever King of Beggars pulls will be.
Exactly. It's a dead card, too, if you think about it.
I mean, Lifecoach has a great hand for late game, but not so great for the first round. 3 Resurrections and King of Beggars, which is pulling Priestess of Freya, which is another Resurrection, in an empty graveyard. That's, you know, 4 cards that are very difficult to play.
It is absolutely vital for this Ockfist to stick around. Ermion could provide Noxious with an answer, but he draws double Maiden.
Yeah.
He may have to discard both since they're just disrupted now, but actually he's going to keep one of them, which I like.
You can make a case for discarding both, but you know, whatever you put in the graveyard is utility later on.
I like him dropping the archers. Not really necessary in this matchup, since you're pinging a lot of things anyways. You don't need to ping your own bears or anything. I like that.
Keeping a shield maiden ensures that you're not
Look at
drawn
this!
later.
Look at this wall for the sea! Boom! Down 2 bears! The bear killer, ladies and gentlemen.
Seen enough
Wow.
of those bears. So many bears in this.
So tired of the bears. Now he can play his resurrection. Now he has a bunch of usable cards again, even though he has an empty graveyard at this point. But this Octfist is huge for Lifecoach. I know I say that a lot, but it's important, man.
Yeah, well, Octfist is you know, one of the few cards in this game that allow you to get card
Noxious
advantage.
capitalizing on the Octfist there and pulling a shield mating as it triggers. Very nice.
Both players letting the other player's cards do work for them.
This is a fun mirror, and both players like are really capitalized. They're sharp. They are sharp today.
There's only so many options here at this point.
Considering they've been playing all day, it's impressive to see, actually. They really want this. They want the win. They're going at it.
This has been an all-day affair, and we are here in the finals. Noxious versus Lifecoach, both up a game. Maximum 3 games remain as we watch the Skellige self-wounding mirror take place here. Lifecoach looking good with 2 cards on his opponent as he gets that Octfist back in hand.
Opting to perhaps, like, Lifecoach with a +2 card advantage, like, that is super good for him. But he's going to have to go for oh, there we go.
He's setting up the war cry.
Setting it up. He wants to get a massive lead over his opponent before he has the chance to do so himself and potentially get another card out of him. If he could go +3 card advantage here, that would be massive for him. That Octfist was tremendous.
Absolutely. And there's only so many things Lifecoach can do at this moment. I mean, he has a great board for Warcry, and he has the Archer, which can facilitate just a little bit more strength as well.
Even though it's not really required at this point because everything is damaged because Savage Bear.
It is true. It is true.
Savage Bear just completely, like, taking the utility of the Archers here.
Lots of red numbers for sure.
Noxious is really thinking deep here.
As he should, as he should.
Gonna set up the Grimace, it seems.
Not you again.
1, 2, 3.
Not enough to keep up with him, and now is when Lifecoach has to go for the kill. He has to go for the war cry. Lifecoach, sorry, yeah, I think I said Lifecoach.
Yeah, Grimace is...
This is a total, dude, this is 16, 26, 30. 30 strength in a bronze card. You go for it. You just go for it.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of these, a lot of cards were improved that opened up Warcry as a really viable archetype, and it's looking like it's very competitive as well. Both of the finalists taking this deck into
He is going for it, ladies and
the final
gentlemen.
best of 5 here.
Lifecoach really debating here, really making sure that he makes the proper play. Like, this play may seem somewhat obvious, but Lifecoach is making sure that there's nothing else he can do that would be more valuable here. Just going over, like, all the cards, how they're going to perform later down the line. And I think he's going for it.
It's pretty clear.
He's going for it. Yep. There we go, baby. 30 strength swing, 66. With a card over Noxious, thanks to the Octfist, Noxious is in massive trouble. If he passes here, he loses with 1 card down. That's devastating.
And also misses, you know, I think that there's going to be a lot of potential for Igni to perform here, but sometimes you might want to take what you can get here. It would definitely close the gap. Igni would be able to take 20 strength away from Lifecoach, but it wouldn't be enough for sure. And yeah, that card advantage is, keep an eye on that one.
Oh, the clock is ticking yet again.
And the deliberation in Gwent is really important. You see so many cards right away, so you try to map out what is actually possible, what you can combat and what you just can't.
Noxious passes, has to give up the round with 1 card out of in disadvantage in comparison to Lifecoach. This is so big. Adrian taking the lead here and also being able to not only take control of his entire round, but also just, he could actually take everything out of Noxious here and preserve that Sigdrifa for the late game and have, like, that advantage too. Like, he can go all in if he wants to. He's on the driver's seat. I mean, and he's gonna make use of it.
Like, really serious round 1 there. Not only is he up a card right now, but he had a hand that was not tailored for round 1, and he was able to not only win it, but also win with a card up, and now he's got a dominating hand for the rest of this game. 2 Priestess of Freya and Sigurdrifa and King of Beggars, which would be looking directly at the remaining Priestess, as it does pull the lowest card.
I like how both have premium croc.
Those premium cards are fantastic.
They're gonna get one for every single card out there. That's
every card.
Every card.
animated.
Like, how will the Raging Berserker be? How will the Priestess be? They'll probably be waving around that bowl or something.
Waving their hands up and down for sure. Tight match right now, but, you know,
Monkey see, monkey do.
Lifecoach can afford to be very aggressive in this round. Cyprian Wiley will help a little bit by making you know, his Lifecoach's bear a lot worse.
I think
More bears on the way.
Yeah, I think Lifecoach is definitely going to invest into that Archer to trigger the Raging Berserker so that he can potentially resurrect it down the line again. And we're definitely going to see Octopus go down this round. There's no more usage for it, really. It's just a vanilla 7 strength unit that will be 8 strength the next round. It's good to get a useless card out of the way at the expense of probably a very useful card of your opponent's. That's what winning the round 1, that's the advantage that you get. You have the control.
I wonder if Lifecoach is going to make the commitment to be aggressive enough. I mean, you can do so much and still hold on to Sigurdrifa and still have a really explosive final round, but same can be said about Noxious, but Lifecoach in the driver's seat with the card advantage. And it looks like that would be a very aggressive play, playing Croc. Holding onto that Warcry indicates that he would just be trying to get so far ahead. And, you know, when it comes down to the last few cards, you can make that decision to just go for it. Go for that 2-0 knockout.
Priest of Freya resurrected the Archer.
Not wounding that bear.
Triggering the bear himself. Interesting.
Looks like that wasn't intended. Was not intended.
Oh boy.
Noxious admitting his mistake through emotes. Doesn't like the looks of that. But it's important,
Lifecoach can push
to
for.
note.
He can push for like even more card advantage here. You can go +2. He passes. But then again, he would have to keep the Octopus in hand. So I think he just has to keep on pushing. Honestly, yeah, he's gonna do that. There's the Octopus. There's the Octopus.
If only Noxious had a way to level out those bears so he could Igni them both, but that is not the case. No archers in hand now, as he just spent that one.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely unfortunate.
So we're just going to probably see, Lifecoach is probably just going to be pushing as much.
Dropping Cyprian Willy there, but because of
until he
the
feels comfortable.
Skellige passive, he did not banish it, as it had 4 base strength. Very important to note there. The Skellige passive did save Kick of Beggars there from being deleted from the game and did provide Grifa with a solid target nonetheless. It may be a little bit weaker, yes, but it's still a chain machine.
Noxious has to push past this. If he felt like that was a misplay, he just needs to get through this round, but it's going to be difficult.
Very difficult.
Lot of
Lifecoach
strength.
has such a position of power right now. He's not letting go of that. Not easily, like, at all. He's going to make Noxious feel the pain. He's going to put him in a very bad spot. Make him deplete his resources. You cannot allow a man to take you down round 1 with a card over you. That's just a death sentence. Lifecoach has quite the killer instinct in Gwent. When he has card advantage over you, he just does not let you breathe, man.
And we're going to see if he decides to play any of his resurrection cards. I mean, round 3 is where Skellige thrives, but in the mirror, being aggressive. We hear Igni occurring on the screen here. We're looking at a graveyard, but there, Geralt getting the value he can get here, putting Lifecoach at a disparity that could encourage a pass. It's a great third round hand,
I think
especially
you
when you
shackle
have
Roach,
card
though.
advantage.
I think you shackle Roach.
Oh yeah, if you were going to play anything.
Yep. He
That
brings
would be
shackles
it.
onto the Roach, denying that and requiring another card from Noxious. Man, Noxious, he wanted to preserve, look at his hand with Warcry, Sigrifa, and his leader's ability. Like, that would be a very solid hand to go into the third round with. But because he lost the first round, Adrian will not allow him that.
I mean, Croc on Crate is still available for Noxious, so that Warcry is huge. So we're going to have to, I'm really interested in seeing what Lifecoach's next play here is. You could make an argument for staying or going. It's a dominating hand for round 3.
There goes Sigrifa. Picking up the Gremist, actually. Empowering the Warcry here, potentially.
If Lifecoach is really worried about that Warcry, he may bow out, but I think that seeing if he really is worried about it, it's possible that he just goes for it. I think this is very aggressive, downright mean to keep going here. Deplete his opponent of cards. Lifecoach has all of the initiative here. Sigurdrifa is a bomb
He's
of a card
going
to
for
play
it
later
again.
on.
He wants to take out the combo. I think Lifecoach really wants to get that ability out of him. Who is Virgin, Mother, and Crone. There goes the Raging Bear.
We're very used to hearing that in this game. One of the, I think, in almost every Skellige list, Priestess of Freya, it's really hard I don't know if you could really build one without Priestess of Freya. It's
I
so
don't think you
core to the
should.
gameplay of Skellige.
It's
So
just
hearing
so
that
good.
voice line over and over and
Yeah.
over again, sometimes I hear it in my sleep.
The question is, what do you do now? You have to go for the war cry. You can't just preserve war cry in your hand. You have to go for it now.
Noxious is forced to stay in this round, so
He's only got a 16-point lead. He's facing Skellige. Like, he could definitely cover that with his last 2 cards. He has to do that now. Like, that's what he has to go for. He has to preserve Clown and Crate for the very fast.
you think you'd Warcry here?
Yeah, without a doubt, you can't preserve war cry in your hand when you have 16 strength in your leader's ability.
He has the strength, yeah. He has the strength.
You can't do it. You got to go for war cry. You can't keep that in your hand. But what's the best thing you're going to draw? Like a resurrection and get a Clown and Plate Warrior? Like, regardless of the outcome or of what he draws, he'll get more strength directly out of his leader's ability for the next round. But 16 does not seem like enough, especially when you got double resurrection.
Now, this is a lead that you could argue, regardless of what Lifecoach does, Noxious may be comfortable passing. Lifecoach is just going to take that amazing hand into the next round.
It is Krog on Crate versus Drifa and Freya. Let's see what both players draw here. Very crucial
Top decks
draws.
could be very important.
These top decks are everything as of now. A Holger Blackhand
Blackhand
drawn.
versus Coral.
Coral, ooh.
Tough one, tough one.
Holger Blackhand immune to the weather that Coral generates. Very important there.
And there's so much power on the melee row, which Coral just can't get near. I think this is going to go in Lifecoach's favor.
Yep.
There's
Should lead off with
only so
Drifa.
much Noxious can do here.
Yeah, he should lead off with Drifa here, in my opinion, to basically get a little bit of an extra buff after he summons Freya afterwards. Preserve Holger Blackhand if he can have like a third target. There's no need to rush it, I feel.
Although,
Or go
if you
with
want
it
to
now.
minimize Warcry, if you're worried about another
Oh,
Warcry,
true, exactly.
Each
Very
of
good
those
point.
pings is
Very
double.
Good point. Yeah. Very good.
potentially.
Yep. Going with the Holger Blackhand to potentially weaken that. And this is what we're talking about, man. Holger Blackhand does not care about no fog.
Protect you from all evil.
Lifecoach has more than enough resources available to take this, going
There
up
he
2-1
goes.
against Noxious. We're going to go to
Outstanding
game
match.
4, match point potential here for Lifecoach. We could be witnessing the final game in this final best of series where we get to crown the GWENT Challenger. Fantastic play. Noxious didn't seem happy about triggering that bear in the end there as he emoted.
But I
Didn't
think
like the look
the
of that.
MVP, I think the difference in this match is what I pointed out earlier. The tools that Lifecoach has in his Karaj list to generate card advantage over his opponent. And
Absolutely.
I pronounced that a bit weird, I'm sorry.
Oh, we're going to roll with it.
Okay.
Wish I could see the chat sometimes.
Oh, God. But, yeah, we have Lifecoach with 1 victory. That's all he needs to take this finals. What a series of games. Now that Noxious has no access to his control Squirtle, can he get a win here? He's switching it up to Radovid as Lifecoach brings his last ace.
This is a good matchup, though.
Monsters, yep.
This is a great matchup for Radovid.
This could be the last game, ladies and gentlemen. If Lifecoach wins this match, he will win the GWENT Challenger.
I think you'd
Let's
say
do this.
I think you'd say Noxious is favored in this matchup, so it's possible this might go all the way to the end, but we're going to have to see. You know, you do still have to get those draws. You have to get those answers for a lot of problems that monsters can create for you. 3 Neckers in hand.
Mulligan. Oh, get
mulliganing Croach just to make things
Ooh.
definitely not what you want to see, but always a risk you take on that last mulligan if you don't see Roach.
Yep, but I do want to point out that even though he could have an advantageous matchup because of all of his control mechanisms, even decks that are designed to take out consume monsters can fail easily because consume monsters is just the king of proactive decks, and it's the preferred choice in ladder for a reason. Lifecoach knows how to pilot this deck very well and is preserving it for the very last, as he does have to lead off first. He did lose the coin flip and has Roach in his hand, so you can't say Lifecoach got lucky here.
Well, I think that he was saving monsters because he wanted to make sure that he had that potential to avoid Radovid, as this matchup would not be favored, but we're going to have to see how this one plays out, absolutely.
Leads off with the Brain Warrior right there. No Arrakis Behemoth, though, to capitalize on it.
That's true.
Gather
Choosing
my
to not Operator first for that Grand Warrior.
Ooh, now she seems to be leading off with the Loverkin there, but Lifecoach does have the answer. I think that Demonium Shackles is definitely, or no, this is better.
Oh,
Got
Drog
Drog.
takes care of both of these things.
I like Drog a lot. I like
Your
Drog a lot.
nightmare.
I like him a lot. Oh, wow.
I do like Drog. It's an exciting card to watch, and it's great when you can get
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
exactly what you want.
Let's enter the fray. knocking out the Lubberkin and Roach in the process. That is a sweet draw, if you ask me. Oh, man, that was great.
RNG will do its thing, but when you can control what happens, it makes those cards extra powerful.
He can play goal here and get rid of Roach.
That is true. That is true. Ghoul would take care of Roach as it is the only target in either graveyard, and it would not come back after that.
Will Lifecoach opt to take that play, or will you opt to go with something else, like, for example, an operator or such? I think this is a very, yeah, he's seeing it. He's seeing it. He's going for it. Yeah, I think he's debating it. He's definitely seen it already, but he's debating it now if it's worth it. I think it definitely is. Yeah, boy, he's going for it.
There it is.
There it
I
is.
think there's a lot of great options still available for Lifecoach, still holding that Crone on that operator. Lots of stuff that can be done, but taking care of Roach. A little bit of control from the greedy list, a little bit of greed from the control list.
Playing against the RNG of the card by using it early on. Very good use of goal there. Now, I'm interested to see what he's going to copy with operator, actually.
He does have to play a Roach of his own in order to get value out of that later in the game, but it's much better to play that when you have a lead, as it is a very, very low-strength play.
He does have the Crone in his hand, though, so that can provide him with a strong swing. Because you can actually set up Roach and kind of bait out. Even though the problem is he lost the coin flip, so it could lead to him losing card advantage. But then again, monsters can gain that back with their passive easily.
Yeah, the Crones allow so much flexibility to the setup of monsters, as it puts you so far ahead.
It's that powerful swing in one turn that they provide you with. That's just it actually makes people, because yeah, you may think, wow, Crones are amazing. Well, yeah, but they take 3 out of your 6 silver slots, and silver slots are amongst like the most contested slots in Gwent. So it's definitely a strong investment to make, but definitely worth it, as it thins your deck and it gives you a powerful play to go with.
Yeah, you can only have 6 cards, 6 silver cards in your deck. Crones do take up half of that, but it's you know,
it's the
it
price
makes
you
up
gotta
for
pay.
it by being a 20-card play that also thins your deck of 2 cards. And deck building in Gwent is fantastic for that kind of stuff, where you have limitations and so many strong options. I think this tournament has shown that there are a lot of options.
People have
Not
been,
not just because of Vest.
It's a good example. Like, for example, that's the example twice there. Go me. Lifecoach, instead of running Geralt, which is the preferred choice for the majority of monster players, is running Drog. And in that scenario, Igni would have done nothing to the Lubberkin, but Drog shut it down. So you gotta always be willing to experiment and try new things, I think.
Oh, Drog is a great control card early on.
People were like worried about the RNG, but Drog shines with either weather support, because he nullifies the strength of a lot of units, or at the very early stages of the game to just deal with something immediately.
Yeah, we talked a lot about how you want to maximize the value of your cards as much as possible, and we know that Gwent is a fairly on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to random effects, but the more you can slim that down. We talked about how deck thinning facilitates this, and how when you can predict, or at least know for a fact, you know, we saw the Ghoul eat Roach because we knew that was going to happen. It's a random card. We knew Draug would take care of the Lubberkin, even though in a later round that those random pings could have gone other places. So when you can kind of control the outcomes and make sure that you're getting the most out of that, then it just comes down to the decision making. It makes Gwent such a high skill cap game. And here we are in the finals.
Do I spy?
Of this tournament, we've seen so many like skilled decisions. Like it's been a pleasure to watch. I've learned a lot myself, honestly, and I'm pretty sure the audience has as well. I hope you guys are enjoying the show, because this is just great, man. I'm learning so much from these games. It's fantastic.
The deck list likely going to be all over the place. It's going to definitely change up. We know that you can sign up for Play Gwent right now, and a lot of people might be trying the game out for the first time. And for these tournament lists to be out there, it's possible the ladder may end up being, you know, a lot more varied than it has been, as we've seen a lot of these decks perform very well. We do know that the tournament play is much different than the ladder, and you can kind of control the stuff that you see. But I think some cards have really shown here.
I think there is a bit of an issue of like trends, though. I think it definitely is a case. Even though they're very established decks, you can't just say that something wins 100% of the time against everything, you know. And that's, you gotta open up your mind and try to, you know. Lifecoach has been laddering with the Vest. Like, I've seen him ladder with that deck. I just didn't pay too much attention to it, but I've seen him ladder with that. So it's not like he just used it for his tournament. He used it to rank. So if that doesn't encourage you to build your own decks and think outside the box, I don't know what will.
This game's still very close here in the first round. Could be match point for Lifecoach. Up 2-1 looking for that final victory with a very strong deck, taking on Radovid Control.
Ekimara being applied, eating up Roach, actually. Lifecoach being very conservative, playing around Igni. Interesting.
Keeping the game very close as well. Roach will come back, potentially, if Karen is played.
Karen can be used to basically eat up the Siege row and then set up a nice Dagon for Lifecoach. And we see no clear skies in the hand of Noxious, but of course, Lifecoach does not know this.
And you know, you could make a case, Akamara often is used, although Lifecoach does have an additional Akamara in hand, often is used to be a gigantic unit to keep and carry over into the next round. So usually eating Roach isn't always the option that you would pick, and but it's good because you sacrifice so little and you may get it back as well.
Yeah, you obtain value there realistically, and you also avoid Geralt Igni in this early stage of the game, and it's nice. Like, he's playing conservative, and I like that. He's really trying to gain the value advantage here, and now he drops the Necker. Something I really like about Lifecoach is how he's not rushing these Neckers. Like a lot of the consume monsters, you see them play Necker like the first turn, or right after the Crones, immediately, when it's vulnerable to so many different sources of removal. Now it's still vulnerable to Radovid, but the fact that he's been holding on to it, I like that a lot. Like, he's been doing that a lot, and other players have as well, and I think that's a very smart approach, really.
I like Radovid as a leader because you basically always have a lock in hand, although your opponent knows that, but you know, especially in this matchup, and there it is. So that will deny the Necker from reappearing, or should I say spawning an additional one in the following round. But there's
the shackles, you know, oh man, oh wow, impressive.
I mean,
nice. He was
the
holding
Necker
on
is
to
such
that.
a core strategy that, you know.
He could have used that on a Trebuchet, for example, but no, he wants the value. That's fantastic for him.
We've seen a lot of locking in this tournament, not a lot of unlocking. Diamond Shackles does toggle the lock, whereas Radovid does not do that.
Noxious thinking quite a bit now.
First round still very close, relatively.
Look at Shani early on.
Hovering over Shani.
With a Ballista, I don't think that's worth it. I think you drop the Trebuchet instead.
Over
Oh, he's going with Shani!
This is such an aggressive play.
Wow.
Sure. Be glad to.
This is a very aggressive play. Sight set on the Necker, probably.
Yep. Actually, no, I'm not sure what he was looking. That was an early Shani for Noxious.
That's a tough card to play early in round one. That gets you a lot of value later in the game.
Yeah. I wonder why, like, he even had a King of Bears on the board. I wonder why he's opting to do that. It's an interesting play by Noxious there.
Noxious definitely had options there. But he is ahead.
He's ahead, and those double trebuchets are really hurting Lifecoach.
It's possible he just really wants to have the trebuchet later, as it is kind of annoying to deal with later on, especially, I mean, both of these cards are, it's going to be a short round, likely.
Lifecoach is really debating what to do here. He opts to play the Ekimara and eat up that. It doesn't seem like he's really working for a rain here because he hasn't eaten any single one of the. Maybe he's preserving that for later, actually. Like, he wants to eat them, those three immediately and then set up the rain.
I think Lifecoach was anticipating a pass there by Noxious, so he was setting up his bronze card there, although, you know, it was the last card that he has to play.
That would make sense. But Noxious still has quite a bit to go with. Another Ballista in hand and the reinforced trebuchet as well. Now, it's important to note that Lifecoach does not run Grave Hag himself, so what if Noxious is preserving that Ballista for the sake of being able to answer potential Grave Hag down the line? Because he hasn't faced his deck up until now, actually.
And he didn't anticipate the Grave Hag in that legendary best of 5.
No, but he plays it anyways. He plays it anyways.
He plays it anyway. Staying in this round.
Lining up that Siege row, though, I think this is a strong Karen yeah, he's going for it.
We could see another round one go down to the last card here, potentially.
I believe Karen plus Rain will do it for Lifecoach if he eats the 3 Crones. Even though they're slightly damaged, there's still 14 strength that he's saving up himself. And out of, I mean, a Rain would basically take away 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. He will basically take away a total of 17. I'm sorry, 18 points from, yeah, it's not that clear here. Oh, he does get Roach, though, but Roach does spawn in the Siege row. Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for it. He's going for the rain. That's what he wants. He's setting up for that. This entire time he was going for it. And actually, never mind. I didn't count into the necker, so...
It's so difficult to
13.
take on Dagon. It's so difficult when the weather can always be that swing.
13. And that reinforced trebuchet is a dead card. I think Noxious has to be wary of the rain. If he sees it coming, he can pass here. He does see it coming and he passes.
Well,
Wanted to get that +2 card advantage over Lifecoach.
Dagon on display, but forcing that play.
Not bad.
Lifecoach is probably thinking about how the rest of this game is going to play out. Taking that around, but going down 2 cards and then having to act first. Probably an instant pass if he goes for it here. He's going to instantly pass probably in round 2. Maybe
Very adamant on taking the first round, but does barely take the first round.
Yeah,
barely.
he had to do. That's the calculation you need to do sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta be. That's why you gotta
Another
focus.
1-point round.
Keeping the Ekimara and a necker. That's a total of 17 strength being translated to the next round, but he draws a necker. That actually can disrupt this play quite a bit because, yes, that's bad. That's very bad.
It
That's a
definitely
very bad
changes
top
how
deck.
round 3 is going to go.
I think Lifecoach has to potentially pass here and try to have 2 cards taken out of his opponent. But it's tough, man.
I mean, Noxious can get the job done. He's got a great hand going into these later rounds.
Oh, this is tough for
3
Lifecoach,
resurrects.
actually. This is very tough. He's going to have to pass here. I think this is his best chance, but I mean, he's calculated. I mean, he's already played Shani.
Yeah, while Shani has been played, Nanik is still a monster of a card in her own right, as she can do everything that Shani can do, although without the promoting aspect of it. But since Noxious doesn't run or hasn't seen Dandelion or any card that would be so great to promote as well, it's possible that he saw Shani as expendable.
I think he has to pass here.
Ultimately,
yep, he passes.
Ooh.
He passes. Oh, no, he doesn't.
Oh, he's not. Oh, he's taking us for a ride. Though.
Oh,
Gonna play that Arrakis Behemoth.
Oh,
Go for that aggressive line of play here.
Wow. This is Resurrection City for Noxious. I like him leading off with the trebuchet. That'll give him more value. And now there's the pass.
Nope, still taking us for a ride. There it is, finally. That coin completes the pass. Noxious has his work cut out for him here.
Well, let's see if he can make it. This
King
could
of
be
Better
enough.
facilitates a lot here. Priscilla's probably going to get
Yep.
that first light. That's a gamble.
That's huge.
That's mystery versus mystery right there.
That's actually very huge. And he does pull the medic.
Gets another medic and the trebuchet.
He hits the spider,
What a
weakening
shame.
his keep.
Weakening the keep.
Strong turn there by Noxious. And him top decking that neckers. Oh, man. Lifecoach has been very unlucky with his draws here.
Getting Roach at the beginning and getting that last round here, we're going to get to see these final draws here. Noxious being up a card, holding on to 2 medics.
Oh, man. That's tough.
Yeah, I think we're going to go. I think we might see game 5, folks. I think we're going to see game 5. Bringing back the Ekimara.
Healing a vampire only to have it eat you. Feels bad, man.
You jest.
Oh, he's gonna take
that
No,
out.
he should take out the Arakas, actually.
Definitely. Poses a much bigger threat.
Yeah, he realized. Yep. This is it, folks. That's all she wrote. We're going to see a game 5, ladies and gentlemen, worthy of the finals. Noxious is able to defeat the Consume Monsters with his Radovid.
Taking us right to the end, 5-game final. Don't count either of these players out. Fantastic play so far.
Outstanding.
It has been a long day for these players. We are far away from home, especially for Noxious coming in from Canada. Talking about that jet lag getting to him and still holding his own, taking this to game 5. Anyone's game right now. Anyone's game right now.
Noxious taking a little bit of a breathe here, I feel. Oh, actually, Lifecoach. Noxious just jumped directly into it.
Well, we do know there's
ready.
It's going to have to be Dagon versus Croc on Crate at this point.
This is so epic, man. 2-on-2.
All coming down to this one.
It's going to go Dagon versus Noxious' last deck, which is the Croc on Crate list. Now, Croc on Crate is a very powerful, proactive deck that can actually potentially outmuscle Consume Monsters in the first round. One of the few decks that can actually do that.
Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth. You know, it's all about strength. It really depends if
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The last match of the finals of the GWENT Challenger. The winner of this match will be proclaimed the first ever GWENT champion. Are you ready? Clap for me.
Here, guys, come on. This is it. This is game 5 of the finals. Where are my people at? That ring is waiting for a finger. And this is it. This has been such a great ride, folks.
Oh, man, this has been crazy.
It's going to come down to this. Every decision matters. $60,000, well, $40,000 on the line. both of them are probably pretty happy.
The situation, like, it's pretty. Has to be stressful, actually.
We've seen Lifecoach do some pretty
I mean, this guy was a
things
poker player that
with
just retired. Like, he's used to this. That's why he's here in the finals. And Noxious just so humble his entire tournament. He's the only one that brought Lifecoach to 2 losses in his entire tournament. He's literally his toughest opponent here. The guy who's just didn't even think he was going to make it out of the first round. And look at him now. Like, this is insane.
He's showing up when it counts. Absolutely.
He speaks with his, I would say his actions, but his cards. He speaks with his cards, not with words.
Humble and honest to the end.
That is the Noxious way.
A pretty good hand here from Lifecoach. He's able to assemble he has a lot of chances here to assemble that Arrakis Behemoth and Varan Warrior engine that is so devastating in round 1. Even with Warcry in hand, this could be a very deep, high-scoring match.
And that hand is looking very solid for Noxious. He has 1 Shield Maiden, the Raging Berserker. It's looking great. The Cyprian willing to counter the Necker as well, even though we see no Neckers in the opening hand of Lifecoach. Very interesting.
Well, Lifecoach doesn't lean too hard on that core of Necker,
that's true.
Necker Warrior.
It helps him out, but he doesn't focus so much on it. Yeah, that's true. Ah, there he goes, immediately into his deck and getting those Shield Maidens out. Very nice. Very nice start.
Alzur's double cross does pull operators, so
we may see that. We've seen him target Varan Warrior a lot with that combo.
He has. Actually, no one has, I think, in every instance of operator being in a monster deck, Varan Warrior has been the candidate each time.
Operator is such a cool card because it's technically fair, like you're giving both players 1 card, but it really rewards your own synergy. And I think it's one of the coolest cards in Gwent, honestly.
It is one of the coolest cards in Gwent. Definitely, you can make it work so hard for you. And, yeah.
I love that.
There is that extra Varan Warrior. That extra insurance that this engine will get running. We're going to see a lot of spiders, folks. Every decision
Lifecoach
counts.
with 11 strength swing right now in his favor. Raging Berserker enters the board, and he does get the transformation immediately. And now, here come the spiders.
Now, if he played the Varan Warrior before the Arrakis Behemoth, he would have ensured that he could get the Arrakis Behemoth to spawn the Arrakis immediately upon playing.
Yeah, I wonder why, he opted to make that play.
He definitely has a lot of Varans to spend.
How much removal is available for him? Mermion hits the board, which means he's going to draw 2 extra cards, get Roach out of there. Priestess of Freya and Priestess of Freya.
That's tough because...
Let's see what he discards here, actually.
It's tough to get rid of both of them, but...
I mean, there's a clear discard there.
They only had so much use in round 1.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that, actually. Noxious immediately looking into the graveyard of Lifecoach, checking, what he has.
So the Varan Warrior on the ranged row isn't as important. Lifecoach isn't running the smaller Arrakis that muster out with that consume. But getting a Varan going, I mean, he's put a lot of value into these Varan Warriors, making sure that they are as strong as possible. Every snack now producing 2 Arrakis.
Right now, the big 7-strength Crone is protecting that entire row from a ridiculous Igni.
Absolutely, and there's not much that can change that short of Cyprian Wiley hitting one of my favorite cards, Old Basket Face.
Basket
The big crone.
Basket Face.
As I refer to her affectionately.
That's the first time I heard that, but it's, surprisingly accurate.
I'll save that one to the end.
Worthy of the finals, right?
Worthy of the finals.
Worthy
now,
funds.
It's difficult. I mean, while Cyprian Wiley is the strength removal that would enable a very strong Igni, it's so difficult to ever play that card when you know you can target a Necker and stop that from happening. But
and also, Ikimara can be a thing. Like, Ikimara can just disrupt that again. So it's just, you're losing the potential to shut down the Neckers, as you said. Exactly.
Yeah, but we already know that Lifecoach doesn't lean too hard on that. He's more about using Varan Warriors and Arrakis Behemoth to get the job done.
I think
Still,
it's about time.
it's still, you know, you put the Neckers in the deck for a reason. They're very strong just by themselves, despite all the tools you can use to make them that much more devastating. But at least room in your deck to really focus on, as we've been calling it, the engine.
This is here it begins, man. The
Just wrap it
engine.
up.
The engine. I hope nobody's having like a drinking game when we said that word.
We got to add that word to the list, I think. Absolutely.
We do.
Unconventional, mirror.
An engine.
You've already been with us this long, folks. If you've been drinking every time you've been saying those words.
I worry for your health, honestly. If he can get these Brand Warriors to trigger and the Arrakis to stick, that's going to translate into so much strength. I don't know if Warcry will be enough when you have double Arrakis Behemoth and so many options to consume. And that Karen, like, this is such a powerful hand.
Yeah, what stops it? This is just going to be a train.
Yeah, he doesn't have
head-on
the tools.
collision,
He
I
doesn't have the
think,
control
strike
tools
at
to
this
stop
point.
it. He's starting to set up
Oh,
the ending.
he's
He's
doing
going
it.
for it. Will Lifecoach see this coming? If he fails to see this, if he don't, okay, this stops it. This stops it.
Fantastic.
No, it doesn't.
Whoa!
It doesn't.
Oh, this is going to be
No. He's gonna. Oh my God.
This is going to be a great look at this.
Oh,
Not
no!
even hesitating. We've been waiting to see that level of value from Gerald Igny.
Oh
What
my God. He's
absolute
got him.
meltdown. Couldn't have scripted it any better.
Wow. He walked it. He could have avoided that, but he didn't see it. Oh man. Noxious got him.
That Savage Bear ping.
That's crazy. Oh, he still hasn't played Warcry. Oh my God.
Things changed around very quickly with that play.
Wow.
And all of the Arrakis Behemoth spent from hand. There's only really so much that can happen now, and Noxious is looking at just a
Oh, look at
scream amount of
Lifecoach. Look at
strength.
Lifecoach right now. Oh my God. He's feeling it.
Oh, look at them
He's feeling
both.
it.
Once again, talking about that body language. Talking about how
Oh,
Noxious learned a
man.
lot from Lifecoach.
That, oh my God. That
What?
hurt so much.
What a Gerald Igny.
Oh, this is devastating for him. Oh man, he has to try to get back into.
He's going to take the card and step out, but that was probably one of the best Ignies you'll see.
And he set up for it though too.
Set up
Like
for it.
he set up that.
Telegraphed
Oh
it.
God. Wow. Now Noxious is in control. He has to basically pressure Lifecoach as best as he can, so he doesn't have a strong keep for the next round.
I mean, there's a lot of threat that can still come out of the Monsters deck, and using Igni to win the round is great. But sometimes Igni is, you know, you can oftentimes find value with Igni at any point in the game against Monsters. But that was spectacular.
Oh man, that was devastating.
We came from the fireworks. These players not disappointing. This is the final game. Like it or not, all good things must come to an end.
That Gerald Igni was like the best Igni I've seen in a long time. That's insane.
You know, it's fun enough when that stuff happens on stream, but we're on the big stage.
This is the final game. Like, that's so huge. Rip. All right, he drops another Rain Warrior in the melee area. The problem is he has no more Arrakis Behemoth really to capitalize on these consumption. Like he had all the makings for a very powerful first round, but because he did not see the Igni coming, he got burnt. He got burnt bad.
Noxious can afford to be, you know, much like we saw Lifecoach in the previous matchup, Noxious can afford to be very aggressive with this hand. He's a fantastic hand going into round 3 and a very aggressive hand for round 2, depending on how he wants to play it.
And Noxious passes there, making sure that he keeps a very weak keep and doesn't power itself more. Very, very well done there. Because Ekimara could have been developed into the melee row, absorbing the Ran Warrior, and then the other Ran Warrior would eat it, basically. He knows he doesn't have Igni anymore, so Noxious said no to that.
I think that pass, I think that Noxious had the ability to make a very short and clean round 3. Putting this into a long round is risky.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We know what
it
Dagon can do in a long round, and there is still an Arrakis Behemoth out there somewhere.
I think
to
Lifecoach
be
is
found.
debating. I think he's going to go for the Ekimara here, actually.
It would be
Ekimara on the melee row to avoid Coral. Yes, he's going for it. He's going for it. He's still going for it regardless of that. Noxious saw this coming, but Lifecoach is going for it anyways. 25 strength translating to the next round. Both players have 6 cards in hand. Lifecoach is not out of it. Even after that devastating Igni, the passive is going to translate so much power here.
Couldn't
Ladies and
ask for much
gentlemen,
more.
and there's the Arrakis Behemoth.
Oh, boy.
That's so huge.
That is so huge.
Here goes, ladies and
Gonna get a
gentlemen,
lot
the
out of
last
that.
round of the GWENT Challenger Finals. Oh,
Checking
man.
out those caretaker options right now.
Warcry versus Consumption. Who will win?
The flags are waving in the air.
Every sequence decision here is absolute key.
Take a nice good look at this graveyard. You don't get a chance to always take a peek. Graveyard is so important in this particular card game. A hill to climb already for Noxious. And he also does not get to play last. Dagon has weather options.
Noxious doesn't get to play last. Because he played Akimara to keep that huge keep, Noxious has the last say in this game.
That is true. That is true.
Gonna go and steal the Raging Bear with the Caretaker, making use of the fact that he has to go first.
We've got a great setup here. I actually get to see the player on the top of the screen as a base perspective, and sometimes I look.
Yeah.
You see the hands. You see the hands in different positions. You are right though.
Lifecoach
That last play
stealing.
here.
Yeah, Lifecoach stealing the Raging Bear from him. That was huge. That was absolutely huge. He may have to D-shackles here, and I think that's a very solid play to go for. Shut down. Take the Noxious approach and deal with the threat immediately. What else would you want to shackle at this point? You don't want to shackle Roach. Like, you want to target that bear. You want to shut it down so that he cannot get a nice Warcry going on for him.
I think that's a solid play. I mean, look at the strength advantage right now.
You have to go for that.
Lifecoach turned this around.
With that, with that keep. Definitely.
Not over yet, though. Of course, a lot of options. The choices on
Yeah, he goes for it. He goes for it. He moved him shackles onto the Raging Bear.
Those decisions on Priestess of Freya and Sigurdriff, and of course the result of the rally, which may end up being a clear weather. If that's
This
the
is
only
intense,
way.
boys. This is intense. Lifecoach may have a strong lead, but Warcry is known for the insane burst he can have, and he goes for the bear again. Noxious really adamant on that sticking around. He needs to start wounding his own unit so that Warcry is as powerful as he can be, but he lacks his leader's ability at this point. He does have Clear Skies in his hand, though, so he can bypass weather, which is very important.
One of the biggest threats here is very avoidable with that First Light weather clearing card. And Noxious is a big fan of the Savage Bears running 3 in this deck. More Savage Bears than Raging Berserkers.
I think we're going to see a goal onto the melee row after that, and then being absorbed by Rand to trigger the Arrakis Behemoth twice.
The Kayran, we know, can produce a lot of strength. We saw Kayran make a comeback of, I think there was a disparity at one point in one of the matchups, 16 plus points. Kayran handled that.
All you
no
need that
problem.
spider. All you need is that spider on the board.
All you need is that Arrakis Behemoth. Very, very strong bronze card.
But requires a good synergy to work. Otherwise, it's just a 6 strength unit. So,
Well,
I like the card a lot.
all
honestly.
3 of these cards that Lifecoach holds that aren't Dagon are consumed cards. So every round he's going to produce another Arrakis. And he's already got such a lead.
Exactly.
So much can happen. The Warcry.
He's going to go for that immediately. Okay. So that will enable Noxious to go for a rally as well. Rally picks up a goal. All right. Not a bad pull for him at all. Oh, what did he eat? What did he? Boy, what you eat? Holy crap.
What a ghoul. Landed on a very high strength target. Skellige has the strength. We're just going to take a look at that. I believe it was the on-crate warrior. 52 strength Vran Warrior.
That's the strongest Vran Warrior in the history of Gwent. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if that's true, but this is it's definitely going to be the most expensive one if it ends up being the $40,000 Vran Warrior.
A Deeper Eats Kebab here would be like the strongest
Only
thing
one
ever.
player brought that card.
Oh, it would be so great here. Will Warcry be enough?
Cyprian Wiley just taking what he can get here.
I think Roach is the prime target here, so they cannot, consume it. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, but he does go for the Roach anyways. Noxious is not that far behind, and he's still holding on to that Warcry, and he does have the Gremist in his hand. Gremist can target 3 units and deal 1 damage to them at the expense, and then buff himself up even more, so gaining value in the process, and working for that Warcry. So he's not out of it just yet.
Anybody viewing with an Excel spreadsheet open knows how this is probably going to play out. But yeah, Grimace is going to be able to enable a huge burst of strength that Lifecoach will not be able to
That is
prevent.
your brilliant move.
And then we still have
Turniej.
what could come out from the rally, as it's now no longer needed to clear weather.
Right now, the Warcry is worth a total of 20 points. He needs a little bit more. He needs a miracle through that rally.
This could be close enough that the rally could make the difference.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He needs to fish for something very key. Like I think a Priestess of Freya into. I'm not sure. Honestly.
There may be one left in the deck.
There may be. I honestly can't remember. There's these gentlemen.
A lot of games being played today, and we're down to the last one here.
The last turns, folks. Noxious versus Lifecoach.
60 strength Ran Warrior.
The strongest Brang warrior ever.
Priestess of Freya on the rally.
Oh,
Huge, huge get.
He can get the Clown and Clay warrior. Will that be enough?
Oh, this Warcry is going to be massive.
Oh, that's
Folks.
Oh, that's quite a bit more. Karen though.
One step at a time, folks. Let's just appreciate this moment. This is Gwent Challenger, the last card being played in a fierce best of 5 performance.
1 spider, 2 spider, 3 spider. 109. That is the final strength that Lifecoach has generated here.
Let's
and
see.
Warcry happens.
Just playing it. Let it play out. Here it is, folks. So close. So close.
Lifecoach wins.
What a series.
What an amazing way to end this tournament. Oh my God. And that's a 69 man warrior, by the way.
That. Nice.
Wow.
Could you have asked for anything better out of a Game 5?
Oh my Lord. Outstanding.
Players trading a couple of words
Outstanding.
here.